On this week's episode, we're talking Dexter, the new final season. Is it good? Yay, nay? What do we think? Also, Encanto. We have a review of the new film on Disney+, local casting calls, and of course, what we're watching.
That's right. I'm Jamie.
I'm James.
So I was in Dexter a couple of times, but I'm so sad, James. I'm so sad because I actually spent 14 hours on shooting Dexter. We did a special effects shot where I was a waitress and I walk around Dexter and I give him some water and I walk around him and then I become a blur, and it was like a really cool shot that they brought in like special cameras for and stuff like that. Got cut. Got the chop.
No.
Got the chop. Did not make the final cut. I'm so sad. But I do come out twice, actually, in this show, which I'm really excited about. I'm in episode 6 and 7, once as a waitress and once as a spectator who's watching a wrestling match. But, James, did you watch Dexter at all? The first... first round, first time around.
I watched the first 4 seasons, and then I think it was a good thing that I stopped watching after season 4 because people have said it wasn't a good ending, or the final seasons weren't that great. And then with the announcement of this new season that's filming here in Massachusetts, people were saying, okay, Dexter, the show is going to have the redemption that it deserves and ending that we should have received the first time around.
Right.
But I understand, aside from the disappointing fact that they cut your amazing effect scene,
Right.
there's also a disappointing fact that maybe not everybody will love even this season.
Well, yeah. It's I think it's a little hit or miss, James. I think so here's the story.
Okay.
All right, we had 8 original seasons of Dexter where he's the serial killer who kills serial killers, and at the end of the original series, he fakes his death in a hurricane. He leaves his son. His son goes to Argentina with his girlfriend, and he just disappears. He goes off on his own. And a lot of people weren't satisfied with that. They weren't really happy with that ending, and so fans had been clamoring for a long time for a more satisfying ending, and I think in some ways that's what this delivers, but there are other criticisms for it. So this is the new season has just the finale came out today, which is Sunday, and this is called Dexter New Blood. So in this season, Dexter has been living in Iron Lake, New York, upstate New York. He now goes by the name of Jim Lindsay.
Okay.
He runs a bait and tackle, he works at a bait and tackle.
For some reason, I thought it was taking place in Alaska or somewhere.
No, well, I mean, it might as well be. It was so far upstate New York, you know, where it's constantly like under 10 feet of snow,
right,
or whatever. And he lives out in the woods in the sticks, and he has a great little life. Apparently, he hasn't killed anyone in 10 years. He's dating the police chief. He is happy as pie.
He likes risky behavior. That's if you're going to date anybody in town, that's like the riskiest person to date.
Well, you know, he was a former forensics guy. He was always in law enforcement. His dad was in law enforcement. His sister, I guess he just gravitates towards that. So that stays in character, I guess, for him. But it is high risk when you are a serial killer.
Just date the local bartender.
I might not recommend that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the story picks up where in his happy little life up there, he kills for the first time again. He kills for the first time in 10 years. This really awful guy, Matt Caldwell, who, you know, it fits the code.
Right.
Like, he got away with this accident that killed like 3 or 4 people, and he's just an obnoxious, horrible person who kills this deer, this beautiful white deer on sacred land, sacred Native American land, and he just snaps. When he sees the deer like shot in front of him, he just snaps and he kills Matt, and that's where this starts. And then his son, who he abandoned all those years ago, shows up in town, and now he has to get out of murdering this guy, while at the same time, oh my gosh, Harrison is here, and his sister Deborah, who was a huge, the only person he ever loved, who died at the end of the last series, is now the voice of his conscience. She's constantly there. She's constantly like talking to him about his motivations and why he's wrong, and she's the one who's the voice of reason in the show. My only criticism is the actress who plays Deborah. They dated in real life, which is a little bit, which is it's a little odd. You play brother and sister on television and all that, but whatever. She's just a little over the top in her aggressive, like dramatic performances. It kind of takes me out of it a little bit, but she is just how she was in the first season. I think that was just my feeling about that performance across the board, but. I feel like kind of some of the storylines here are a little contrived. They're a little forced, but it was all shot locally. It was great seeing a lot of local actors in the background. So that was really exciting. It's just, for me, the writing wasn't 100%
now,
there.
So how, if you remember, like, what's the time difference between, like, in actual years between the last season and this season? Because, you know, they had plenty of time to plan this out, and it seems like they may not have chosen the best storyline or the best way to continue the story or end the story.
It's been over a decade.
Yeah.
It's definitely been over a decade since they ended the last show. And it just appeared that the stars aligned for this new Dexter New Blood. And the original director is back, the original cast, a lot of the original cast. And they felt like, I think that they felt a lot like the fans did with the last one. Like there was something more that needed to be told.
Right.
Dexter always saw himself as a hero, right? Even though he's a killer who kills killers or whatever, he sees himself as this anti-hero, and that kind of spurs him to continue doing what he's doing. And I think they really challenge that in this. Is he really a hero? Is he really?
Yeah.
And especially with Harrison coming into the mix, like he doesn't want to mess up his son. He does genuinely love his son, even though he's a person who can't feel feelings entirely. He does genuinely love his son and wants his son's love and admiration. And I think that relationship between him and his son and the actor who plays Harrison it's the heart of this show, and I think it's the best part of it by far. The kid who plays Harrison steals the show plenty of times. Like he's a really good actor.
Does he just show up in town?
Just shows up.
So his son randomly decides to move to this.
Well, the way that they explain it is that Hannah, his adopted mom or whatever, she dies, or at least he says that she does, and then he goes on this adventure to find his dad. Like he ends up in Miami, and he was in the foster system, and now he finally found him in upstate New York. So I mean, they don't really go into a lot of detail about exactly how he finds him. Yeah. Which I think is also another plot hole, because how
Yeah.
That's tough.
Do you think this would be a potential spin-off with this kid now, seeing everything that he's seen and realizing that his dad is this monster?
Well,
for most of next,
well, that was the thing. So for most of the time that Harrison is there, Dexter is he's hiding. You know what I mean? He's protecting Harrison. He doesn't want Harrison to know who he is. He wants to protect him from what he is, from what Dexter is. And that's admirable. And that's where a lot of the back and forth between Dexter and his dead sister comes into play. Because is he good enough for Harrison? Is he going to mess him up further? What does Harrison need? Et cetera, et cetera. That's the battle back and forth. And of course, there's another serial killer in town, because that's what happens everywhere that he goes. Dexter Morgan finds other serial killers to kill, so that's also on theme with the show. But I think the whole I don't want to give too much away, but the whole thing with the other serial killer is way too predictable. Yeah. And it's a little bit like, really, that's it? And also, really, they don't really, how many of all the serial killers that there are in the world, James, how many of them are as flamboyant? I guess you might say, in the way that they kill their victims and preserve them or whatever, display them. It's just, okay, interesting. So there are definitely parts of this that don't ring true to me. They don't feel realistic, but is that really what this is about? No, it's about being entertained.
Right.
But I think what they address about the Dexter character is he a hero? Is he not a hero? You know, and I think they do a really good job with that. My only criticism is, like I said, the finale came out last night. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'm just going to say that it didn't ring true to me. Mm-hmm. Some of the emotional reactions didn't feel organic. And it felt to me more like a dream sequence. I'm like, wait, this is a dream. Oh no, wait, this is what actually happens. Okay. But other people are reacting very positively to it. They're saying, hey, this is the ending that we were waiting for. This is how we wish it had ended all along, that it comes full circle, that it's everything that it needs to be. So a lot of people really like it. I will give it those kudos, and to the director, who's a great guy. It is entertaining. Mm-hmm. The interactions between Dexter and his son, very genuine. I enjoyed all of that. Mm-hmm. And it's Dexter. Yeah. It is what it is. And it definitely is on theme for that show.
Do they have the same intro song, or kind of like same kind of style where like he's cutting up fruit and looks like he's murdering?
No, and you know, I missed that. Yeah. I missed that about the original.
Yeah.
This one is just kind of like it's just like
names, the titles.
Yeah, like a title card. Right. Yeah, it's like a title card, and like with crackling ice around it and blood. Which is, you know, I miss the very violent breakfast cooking.
Instead of like cutting like an orange, it'll be cutting what grows in northern New York State. Yeah. I don't know, some pine cones or something.
Yeah. So I guess he was like eating a tuna sandwich when the special effects shot that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Like I give him a water and he's eating a tuna sandwich, was something that he did a lot in the first series also. So come on, it's got to be like in a deleted scene or something like that. But it looks like fun.
Were you able to see the effect at least, or did they kind of describe it and what it's going to look like?
Yeah, it was just more like, this is what we're going for.
Gotcha.
So I was carrying like these heavy plates, like I was the waitress, and they made me work. Okay, yeah. I was like a real waitress, and I had to do these long extended, segments for like 2-3 minutes of, okay, bring this plate to so-and-so, bring this water to so-and-so, bring them cutlery, come back to the bar, now bring more food, now do this, and the camera, which has a pre-programmed movement that it does it over and over and over again, while I do my action over and over and over and over and over again. So at the end, it would make it look like a blur that goes around Dexter in the center, which is a great idea. I mean, it sounded like it was going to be really cool. But for one reason or another, these things get cut. We had a movie just came out that was shot here, Don't Look Up.
Right.
A lot of great local talent that was in that, including Jury Love, who we interviewed a couple episodes back. Be sure to check that out. But there were a few other folks that were in it. Vic Ramos is one of them. Yeah. Local actor, used to work with WBZ. He had a scene where he was actually cursing out Jennifer Lawrence.
Really?
And that didn't make it into the movie. It would have been
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But you do see him during the countdown of the space shuttles or whatever. He says 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was Vic.
I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, that was Vic. So, these things happen. It's part of the industry. Sometimes it doesn't make it, but you get that experience. You get to have that incredible, memory.
Yeah.
And so for that, I'm very appreciative. I did enjoy watching Dexter New Blood. I think you will too. There were, some things that were it's just not always been my preferred kind of show.
Yeah.
But for others, and especially people who have been real big fans of it since the beginning, it seems like most of them are very satisfied with the ending. So,
all right.
Kudos on that.
Well, let us know what you think about Dexter, the new season that just came out or just wrapped up, New Blood. The comment down below. Do you like how it ended? Do you think there should have never been this other additional season? Were you one of the few that were happy with the original series finale?
Yeah.
Let us know. Comment down below.
Yeah, Wayfair Inn. That was where they shot a lot of the scenes for the restaurant. But
excellent.
Yes.
Oh yeah, good. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Well, let's give a shout out to this latest Disney film that has been out for about a week or two, but I just got around to seeing it after hearing a lot of good feedback from it.
Yeah.
Encanto, which is the new film on Disney Plus, and I really enjoyed it. It's has a great cast, and the music, the visuals. This thing has everything, like everything that you can imagine. Like it checks out all the Disney boxes. So Encanto, if you haven't seen it, it's a young Colombian girl who has to face the frustration of being the only member of her family without magical powers. Again, the visuals are amazing, fantastic, but the music, that's where the heart and soul of Encanto, that's where we see it portrayed through the music. That was composed by none other than Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep.
And I really did enjoy this film, but I will say that the very, very beginning first half of this film, I was enjoying it. I could tell that the music was really good and the visuals were great, and getting an idea of what the story is about.
Yeah.
But there was something that felt a little bit off while I was watching it, and I couldn't really put a finger on it until after watching the entire film or near like the latter half of the movie. And I realized that this film feels very much like it belongs on Broadway. That all the characters are on stage performing, and how they're like addressing the crowd or the audience, and kind of describing like exactly who these characters are. Especially in the first intro song, they're like 10 plus characters, and then you literally get down and like you learn about every single one, and the song goes on for a while.
Yeah, it's like, so, this is the exposition song.
Exactly. Boom, boom. And if you are a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda and you've seen his production of In the Heights, the movie is great, but also the production. It reminded me of that feel where like the intro is like the exposition dump of like, here's what's going on, here are the peoples, here's my story, and then they finally get into the whole plot of it. But after I realized, that's why it took me a second to get into it. It had that Broadway feel that I really don't see in too many other movies. Of course, all Disney films have like musical numbers in it, but it feels like, and my fiance pointed this out, and I think it was very accurate when she said, for example, The Little Mermaid, when they do like Under the Sea song, like it's a very like they're the fish and Ariel and Sebastian the crab are like performing for the audience, but it's not real. It's more of a fun story than an exposition story, because it's like under the sea where it is wetter and better. Take it from me. Like there's no real plot information in there. It's just a really fun story, a really fun song. Where in this film, all of the songs, it tells you like it's forwarding the story, and so you can't miss the songs, or you have to really pay attention to the songs, or else you might miss some detail or some character development later. So that was the only thing that kind of caught me off guard. It's just a lot of information in the songs, but once you're on board, then it's really enjoyable. Several of the songs are very catchy, and I actually listened to a couple on YouTube just because it's kind of like that that earworm, or that is just stuck in your head. Yeah. So I have several of Encanto songs stuck in my head.
Well, Lynn's great at that. You were Hamilton.
Yeah. I had Hamilton on replay, like the entire album, for a full year, if not more, if not longer. Yeah. So he is very good at making songs that you can like really jive to, and very memorable too. That's right. So I know you saw a few bits of it, or bits and pieces. What do you think about the animation? Because I feel like with every new movie, like Disney, there's something new. They're like perfecting some new aspect of it.
Well, I think with Toy Story, like it was the water. Right. It was like amazing, so realistic, blew me away. And for this one, I think you mentioned it. It's the hair.
You're right.
Yeah, and it's just wow. It's like you can touch it, and it's got shimmer and shine and bounce. So that was really cool. A little bit excessive on the magic, though. It's like, magical. All of these, and everybody gets like their own room in this magical house, and like the little boy who can control animals or talk to animals or whatever gets like the entire magic kingdom in his bedroom. I'm like, that's a bit much. And then our poor what's her name, the main character, Maribel, gets nothing. She has nothing. She has no magic. She has no room. She doesn't get. It's like, it just seems a little bit disproportionate here, and poor her. So you do get that gut punch. It's like, wow, they're all magical, they're all together, but she's excluded because she doesn't have that magic.
Some of the magical powers I actually kind of took issue with. Because,
really?
Well, and I will say this. Fortunately, all the characters in the movie are like good people, so they're not using their powers for evil. But I was imagining like all of these powers, all of these powers, like somebody could like take over the world. Like, for example, there's one family member who can shapeshift into literally anybody they see, anybody they want. And so that has like, you can become anybody you want, walk
President
into
of the
any building.
United States, yeah.
There's another one who can control the weather. Another one who, like I said, he can, the little boy can control animals and like talk to animals and control them. And so if you can control all the animals in the world, you can literally take over the world. Same thing goes with one of the sisters who is able to control plants and like can make plants grow and sprout in vines and trees and cactus and all this stuff. And so like if you could control Mother Nature and Mother Earth, like you can you can
I feel like these have all been villains, like DCEU, Batman, like villains. And
there's also one last one where
X-Men.
like the mother in this movie, now they do live in a community, so like their own like little like village, and so like they don't go to other places, but the main character, one of the moms, her main superpower is the power to heal. So she can like bake a little loaf of bread, feed you the loaf of bread, and then you'll fix your broken arm, or if you've been stung by bees, you'll get better. And so I'm thinking this person needs to go on like a worldwide tour to every hospital and just
cure
like
everything,
feed everybody and cure everybody. And so it's a good thing that again these people, there weren't like any like quote unquote like villains where they used their powers for evil. It was just like, if these powers were in the hands of anybody else, things will go south very, very quickly. Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people were happy about the movie, too, because of the representation of the different kinds of characters that you had there. The little boy, Antonio, so cute. I think a lot of people have been super excited about that character in particular because of his hair and because of his skin color and because he looks like so many little boys out there. And, you know, you've got people taking pictures of their kids side by side with the movie and just being excited about it. And, you know, for that reason, representation matters. So I think they did a really good job there in this story. And, of course, it's got a little bit of the Latin flavor, which we're getting a little bit more of, thanks to Lynn. He's in everything.
He's single-handedly representing the entire Hispanic Latino community in the world.
Because he did Vivo also. So it's great. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate you.
More representation never hurts. And so very realistic and again, the animation, beautiful. The house animation, like the drawers and the tiles, those are beautiful too. So again, those songs, they're going to be stuck in your head for a while. So just prepare yourself for that.
Prepare yourself for some dancing at home with the kids. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Now, something else you should prepare for is potentially getting cast.
That's right.
For movies or TV shows or commercials that are filming here in Massachusetts,
which
and
are many.
New England. Many.
Yes.
You have a lot. You have a lot on this episode. So let's just start with Boston Casting right now. Boston Casting, we're looking for a woman who uses a wheelchair for a training video. They're looking for someone in their late 20s, early 30s. This is a non-union gig, and this shoots on January 19th or January 21st. So you must be available for both days, and this pays $650. If you meet the description of this, send your headshot, photo, resume, everything to bostoncasting@gmail.com. Excellent.
Also Boston Casting, a bunch of these are Boston Casting, guys, so stick with us. They're great if you want to go sign up with them. So many opportunities. They are the biggest casting company in town. So do you play a team sport? Are you a dancer, chess club, bowling league, anything, and you're ready to come out? Boston Casting is looking for you. The producers of a show called Prideland on PBS are creating a new docu-series that will apparently guide you through your journey if you're ready to come out to your team, club, etc., etc. And if you are interested in this, it's a paid opportunity. You're going to want to email gamefacecasting@gmail.com. Tell them about yourself. For that opportunity there. Let's see what else we've got from Boston Casting.
So we have another Boston Casting. We're looking for a woman who knows sign language, American Sign Language, ASL, of course. This is also for another training video. They're looking for somebody 55 to 65 years old, non-union gig, shooting January 19th and or the 21st, so you must be available for both days. Pays $650. Like the last email, please submit your headshot, photo, resume, bio, contact info to bostoncasting@gmail.com.
All right, and we've got, they're also looking for a Native American woman between the ages of 40 and 55. This is a non-union role, so not SAG, shooting later in January, either the 19th or the 21st. You'll be available for both days. It pays a good amount of money. If this sounds like you, go ahead and send a headshot, photo, resume, bio, contact information to bostoncasting@gmail.com.
All right. Hey, guess what? Another Boston casting notice.
No way.
Now, we're looking for high school or college-age males who are black, between 18 and 22 years old, for a feature film. This is shooting on the 25th through March.
March? Yeah.
Sorry, March 26th.
Yeah.
This is a paid opportunity. So, send your headshot, resume, bio to Boston Casting Submit 5, the number 5, at gmail.com.
Now, there are a number of things that have actually been renewed, James. Kevin Can F Himself, which was filmed here, is going into a season 2, so that's something to look out for. Billy Dowd Casting is doing the Boston Strangler movie. So you're going to want to check out Billy Dowd online and sign up there if that's something you want to do. Lots of cool opportunities that are out there, including another one here from Boston Casting. Teenage boys 14 to 19 with long hair for a feature film that's shooting this month through March also. You're going to want to submit to Boston Casting Holdovers at gmail.com with a photo, your age, your height, your phone number, email, and your availability for the next 2-3 months.
Excellent. So, if you, meet any of those descriptions, go ahead, send out your email, your information. If you know anybody, if you have a family or a friend who you think, hey, I think they could fill that role, send them a link to this episode and get them started, get them on their path to stardom. So that you can hang out with some really cool movie stars. Yeah. See yourself on screen. Whether or not you're a serious actor or you just want to have a really cool experience that you can brag to your friends about sometime. That's what we're trying to do for you. So, so go ahead and submit, sign up for the local casting agencies, get your time in the sun. And James, when there's not so much sun and you want to just sit inside and watch TV. Kind of like today.
Very dreary
kind of weather we're experiencing.
Perfect streaming, watching weather.
Right.
What are some of the things that folks should be watching? What are you watching?
So right now, like many people out there, they're watching The Book of Boba on Disney Plus. Now, episode 2 dropped this week. I have not caught up yet, but episode 1, I really did enjoy. I'm not sure if it excited me. I'm not sure if I was expecting more for the first episode. It's kind of setting the stage of what happened after Return of the Jedi at the end of the last movie. We find out what happened to Boba Fett. Of course, Boba Fett is alive.
Boba Fett? Where?
Whoa. And so, of course, he is alive, and there have been numerous books, novels, and, online, fan art or stories of how Boba escaped the Sarlacc pit. We actually see how it happened. So it was really cool, and I like the escape. Again, not sure what I was expecting for the first episode, but it was good. It piqued my interest. Okay. And so I'm looking forward to episode 2, which I hear is pretty good, and see where that goes.
My heart is torn now, James, because I really love The Mandalorian. So who am I going to love more now? I used to love Boba more. Yeah. Now I love Mando. Yeah. And now Boba's back in my life. Now, what am I supposed to do?
Do we have to pick one? We can love both equally.
I suppose. But I don't know. Who am I going to give more of an emotional investment to? I guess we'll find out.
I vote for Mando just on the fact that he's basically
such
Baby
a good
Yoda's
dad.
Yeah, he's a great dad. So I'm
Father of the Year.
I'm leaning Mando, but of course you can't beat how badass Boba Fett is. Yeah, and how badass he looks.
Exactly, because he's the best bounty hunter around, and he gets all the girls, and So I have to catch up. I definitely have to catch up on on that one, on Boba Fett.
What are you watching?
What am I watching? Whatever my kids want. So we're going to watch Encanto. We got like halfway through it. We watched a few of the music videos at home. So we got to get all the way through it. We're still watching The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nice.
Okay, we've
That
been
is still
watching.
going.
Dude, we've been watching The Nightmare Before Christmas like multiple times a day
Since
for the
before
last
Christmas.
since before Christmas. Send help. Please send help.
Oh my goodness.
But my son loves it so much. He loves it so much. So
it is
now
a great movie.
It is. It is a good movie.
So I understand like why he wants to see it, but I do feel sorry that you have to see it for the millionth time.
Well, now it's just like, sometimes I get like super obsessed with shows and characters and stuff like this. And this like against my will has like triggered my obsessiveness.
Yeah.
So now I'm like reading Nightmare Before Christmas fan fiction and buying toys and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's for Nikki. It's for my son.
It's
not for me.
Do you have a DVD or where's it streaming?
Oh, it's streaming on Disney Plus.
Of course.
Yeah. They own everything now. They own everything now.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But that's what's up at Casa de Blanco.
Okay. Let's see. Am I watching anything else? My fiance and I we're still rewatching some of the old episodes of Las Vegas. We have the DVD box set, and so that show is silly, goofy. If you like Psych, it's kind of that kind of show where it's kind of like the mystery of the day or the problem of the day. So you can pretty much like pop in any episode and just start watching it. So that's pretty interesting. Josh Duhamel is in that. James Caan is in there. So I'm bouncing between Las Vegas and Book of Boba at this very moment.
All right, sounds good, James. I'm gonna try to get like some adult watching in. You know what I mean? Try to sneak some shows in between.
Watch Spider-Man again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I want to watch it so bad.
Let's do it. We'll do it soon.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. All right. But before we go, be sure to follow us everywhere. We are on YouTube, of course. If you are watching us, hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe, show us some love. If you are on the go, on the road, you can also listen to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. We're also on the social medias at Hub on Hollywood.
At Hub on Hollywood. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Very sporadic TikTok.
Very sporadic TikTok.
But
follow me on TikTok, James Rojas, WBZ. And
exactly.
You can follow us there and everything.
Exactly. And WBZ News Radio is what we're affiliated with. You go on their website under podcasts. You'll find us there. So come on, join the fun. Come on down. And we'll give you a shout out. So until next time, James. Have fun, guys. Watch lots of stuff.
Bye.
See ya. Oh, I'm Jamie, by the way.
Oh,